What's up guys, you're watching India Today Tech. I'm Rahul Sethi, and in this video I'm going to compare Samsung's latest budget smartphone, the Galaxy M20, with the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M2 that you could already buy for 12,999 for the 3GB 32GB variant, while you can buy the Samsung phone for 10,999. So there is a 2,000 rupee difference between the two smartphones. So let's take a look at which one of the two is better. So up front you'll see that Samsung has done a great job at creating a very nice screen to body ratio on this phone. You get a drop style notch, whereas you get a bathtub style notch on the Zenfone Max Pro M2. They both look great, but in my opinion the Galaxy M20 does look better with slightly thinner bezels, a thinner chin at the bottom, and a more overall appealing look. Now from the back side, the Zenfone Max Pro M2 looks more appealing. It has a glass-like finish and reflects light in a very beautiful manner. In that regard, the Galaxy M20 looks muted and very generic in fact. Both have a fingerprint scanner at the back side, but Samsung does it in a different way and it's slightly more easy to use. They have a dual camera setup as well. Earpiece goes between the display and the phone body, but Zenfone manages to pack a flash also at the front side. There's a triple slot tray that allows you to expand storage and add 2 SIM cards as well. And so the design of these two devices is great, but I think Samsung does a better job, not only because it has a drop style notch that looks good, but it also packs a Type-C USB port at the bottom, which is way more futuristic. I mean, you get fast charging on it and you get faster data transfer speeds. So it's a newer generation technology that you get on that device. Both phones have a headphone jack, dual microphones for noise cancellation, and single speakers. Now let's talk about the speed, or rather the performance on these two devices, and let's begin with the fingerprint scanner. Both phones have a very similar unlock speed, but we found that the face recognition is slightly better on Zenfone Max Pro M2. But more importantly, the hardware on these two devices is also slightly different. You get a Snapdragon 660 chip on Zenfone, which is much better proposition if you are into playing games. Like we played PUBG on this phone for a great amount of time, and in medium graphics settings you'll really like it. On the Galaxy M20 it's not so good, it's average, and you may need to switch to lower graphics settings to get better results, though it's pretty nice for light gaming every now and then. Now what you do want to have on your phone is a better looking interface, and there Galaxy M20 certainly wins. I mean, it's not stock Android, and we have been fans of stock Android since God knows when, but the Samsung's interface surely looks more finished. It has very colorful icons, very nicely done features, be the drop down menu or the app drawer. In fact, it's much better optimized if you take a look at the app switching on app opening speeds and even the app animations. This is not really the case with Zenfone, and it's quite a surprising thing to say, because generally stock Android interfaces are much better optimized in comparison to phones running their own skin on top of Android. Both phones run Android 8.1 Oreo, so in that regard they're pretty similar, and you would get a very similar speed as well. But in terms of overall experience, the Galaxy M20 gives you better one. Now both phones also pack a 5000 mAh battery, and you would not really feel it on the Zenfone Max Pro M2 because of its slim form factor. But the point is, both phones offer you a very good backup, and on a full charge you'll be able to extensively use the smartphones for about 1.5 days. So that is pretty nice. But Samsung bundles a 15-watt fast charger with the M20, so charging will take lesser time compared to the Zenfone Max Pro M2. The times, as we saw, was about 2 hours for the M20 and about 3 hours for the Max Pro M2. Now it's not only the design of the display that you will like, but also the display quality. Both phones have a 6.3-inch panel with Full HD Plus resolution, but Galaxy M20 is brighter and has much better vivid colors. The difference is not huge, but the M20 certainly gets ahead in this regard. Also, it is a brighter panel, so it will be better able to combat harsh sunlight and outdoor conditions. And if you compare the viewing angles of the two displays, they're also pretty similar. But one thing to note here is the touch response on the Zenfone is much better thanks to Corning Gorilla Glass 6. It's smoother in regard to the M20 that uses a dragon tail glass and doesn't give you that great flagship-like experience that the Zenfone does. Now let's talk about the cameras on the two devices. They have very different dual camera setups at the back. On the Zenfone you get a proprietary 12 megapixel camera with a depth sensor having a 5 megapixel resolution, and on the M20 you get a 13 megapixel camera with a wide angle sensor having a 5 megapixel resolution. So both setups are slightly different, but let's compare the primary cameras. The sharpness and contrast on the M20 is slightly better, and it also captures brighter frames. Though details on both phones are very similar, you get very good amount of details. and good sharpness levels, but the dynamic range on M20 is slightly better. The bumped up ISO also helps the M20 capture brighter shots in low light situations as well. So you'll clearly see the M20 does a better job in low light conditions and in indoor conditions as well, where you have artificial lighting. Both phones also have a portrait mode that allows you to capture background blur. But surprisingly, the M20 does a better job. As you can see in the photo, the background blur is cleaner and the foreground, that is the face, has better skin tones and better contrast and sharpness levels. Now talking about the selfie camera, on paper you'll see Zenfone Max Pro M2 has a better sensor, a 13 megapixel resolution compared to the M20 that has an 8 megapixel sensor, and that shows in real life as well. Max Pro M2 captures better shots, the face has better skin tones and sharpness levels, whereas the M20 overly brightens the face and you'll see the selfies appear slightly soft. Indoors you will see the M20 photo appears to be slightly over processed compared to Zenfone's that appears to have more accurate colors and closer to the real scene. So overall, the M20 appears to be doing a better job, and that is quite surprising. I mean, not only you save 2000 rupees, but you also get a more refined option in this price segment. Be it the display, the camera, the overall design, fast charging and many other features including that you get on its interface, the M20 appears to be a better option. The Zenfone Max Pro M2 on the other hand has raw power to offer and stock Android. So if you like both of these things and also a better selfie camera, you may go for the Max Pro M2, but otherwise the M20 overall appears to be a better option and will be our pick in this price segment. Do let me know in the comment section below which one of the two phones you like and why. And if you've liked this video, hit the thumbs up button and share it with your friends. Subscribe to our channel to get latest videos on technology, smartphones and other gadgets like this. Thank you for watching.